Who witnessed the events that led to Raina Rison's death? Why did it take him so long to come forward with this crucial information? What was Jason Tibbs' motive for approaching Raina that night, and what happened during their encounter? How did investigators finally connect Jason Tibbs and Eric Feldman to Raina's disappearance and death? What was the outcome of Jason Tibbs' trial, and why does he still claim innocence? The tragic case of Raina Rison, a 16-year-old girl with her whole life ahead of her, unfolded with twists and turns, leading to some measure of justice for her grieving family, but leaving lingering questions and pain over the loss of their beloved daughter. Hi, and welcome back to our channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing, as it helps us motivate to create more intriguing content for you. Let's have a look at the solved cold case of Raina Rison. Raina Rison was born in Indiana, in the town of LaPorte, on May 6, 1976. LaPorte is a charming city located in the state of Indiana, USA. Situated in the northwestern part of the state, LaPorte is the county seat of LaPorte County. With a rich history and a welcoming community, this city offers a mix of small-town charm and modern amenities. LaPorte boasts a picturesque downtown area, filled with historic buildings, quaint shops, and delightful eateries. Strolling along the streets, visitors can enjoy the architectural beauty of well-preserved buildings that reflect the city's heritage. The vibrant downtown area also hosts various events and festivals throughout the year, creating a lively atmosphere for both residents and tourists. Nature enthusiasts will find plenty to explore in and around LaPorte. The city is surrounded by picturesque landscapes, including lakes, rivers, and lush green parks. Pine Lake and Stone Lake are popular spots for water activities such as boating, fishing, and swimming. Additionally, the nearby Indiana Dunes National Park offers stunning sand dunes and beautiful beaches along the shores of Lake Michigan, providing an excellent escape for outdoor enthusiasts. Now let's back to the story. Ben and Karen Rison, her parents, took care of her. Lori was her older sister, and Wendy was her younger sister. 16-year-old Raina was known as a good student who wanted to become a doctor because she cared a lot about animals. Raina did 3 jobs in addition to being a sophomore at LaPorte High School. She walked dogs and cleaned kennels at the animal hospital where she worked. On Friday, March 26, 1993, Raina had a short shift from 4 to 6 p.m. and had to close the animal hospital. Raina and her ex-boyfriend, Matt Elser, were going to spend the evening together, and she could not wait to see him again. They had just broken up, so the date was a step toward possibly getting back together. Like Raina, Matt came from a good family and was considered a good young guy. In short, he was the kind of guy whose date with a daughter would make any parent happy. Matt picked up Raina from the animal hospital at 6 p.m. After a while, he got out of his car and went to the front door. When he got there, he saw that all the lights were off and the door was closed. Matt saw that Raina's car was not in the parking lot, so he drove to her house to see if she was there. Ben, Raina's dad, told Matt that she was still at work and had not come home. They had not seen her since she left home to start her shift at the animal hospital. Her family thought she was out with Matt, but now they were getting worried. Raina was not like her at all when she did not tell her family where she was. Raina's parents, her younger sister Wendy, and Matt all waited in the house for Raina to get home. When Raina did not show up by 10:30 p.m., her family went to the police office to report her as missing. After waiting 24 hours, the cops could file a report about a missing person. Ben showed them a picture of Raina and told them to look for her. Either way, Raina would never do something like that. So our family began to look for her. They tried to reach out to her friends, but no one knew where she might be. They also put up flyers in the area about missing people in the hopes that someone would come forward with important information. When the cops got involved, they asked anyone who might know where Raina was to come forward. Right away, a few people who saw what happened came forward and said they saw a sedan stopped outside the animal hospital where Raina worked just before 6 p.m. Several people who saw the scene said they saw Raina inside with two guys. It looked like Raina was getting into a fight with the guys. At first, the people who heard it thought it was just a couple having a fight. Investigators talked with Matt Elser. He stuck to his story about waiting for Raina and finding out that she was not at the animal hospital. The cops found out that Matt had wanted to break up with her. They did break up, but have recently gotten back together. Their date that night was going to be really special, and they were both looking forward to it. Matt knew that Raina did not show up because something bad had to have happened. Raina's parents told the police that Matt was a good young guy they could trust. They also said that his car was not the one that bystanders saw, which showed that he had not done anything wrong. The night after Raina went missing, her car was found not far from the animal hospital. The car's hood was up, which made it look like she might have been having car trouble. With her keys still in the ignition, it was easy for the police to get her car going. When they got there, it looked like the car breaking down was a setup. Officers also saw Raina's purse and credit cards in her handbag, which was still in her car. All of her money was still in the car, so this could not have been a crime. Raina's glove box held a man's ring, and Matt Elser saw it. Matt said it was not his ring, and he told them that the man's ring belonged to Jason Tibbs. Jason was Raina's ex-boyfriend. They were together for about 8 months when they were in the 7th grade. He had been in trouble with the law before and had quit school. The police chose to talk to Jason Tibbs, who is 16 years old. He said that the ring in question was his and asked where it had been found. When the police told him it had been found in Raina's car, he said that they were still friends and that he must have left his ring in the glove box because he had been working on the car. Jason said that he took off his ring while working on the car to protect it from dirt and grease. People in the area vouched for Jason and said he was a great mechanic. It seemed likely that Raina would have called him if she was having trouble with her car. The police asked him where he was the night she went missing. Jason said he had been playing a game where you try to catch a fox. Fox hunting is like playing hide and seek, but in cars. Friends tell each other where they are using wireless radios and try to find each other. His friend said that they had played fox hunting that night, but no one had seen Jason. Raina's dad said that Raina and Jason were friends, so it seemed like the ring was a dead end. Raina's case was going nowhere until the cops found something. A police officer in LaPorte found Matt's Letterman jacket. The last time anyone saw Raina with the jacket, Matt had given it to her. It showed that they were with each other. About 6 or 7 miles away from where her car was found, the jacket was found. The police put the jacket there after their first search, but it did not lead them to any more clues or proof. On April 26, 1993, a fisherman and his teenage daughter were at a pond off Range Road north of LaPorte, a month after Raina had been seen last. When the daughter was out for a walk, she saw 2 legs in the water. She yelled for her dad to come and see what was going on. He got closer and saw that the body in the water was that of a woman. On top of her body were 2 logs. When the cops got there, they saw that the unknown woman was wearing the same clothes Raina was last seen wearing before she went missing. Even though her body had been dead for a long time, it was clear that she was Raina Reisen. It was no longer a case of a lost person. There were no visible wounds or signs of major trauma on her body. In the end, the autopsy showed that Raina had been killed by being choked. Investigators went back to Jason Tibbs to see if he knew anything about what they had found. They learned about Ray McCarty from him. Ray was married to Lori Reisen, who was Raina's older sister. When Raina was 11, Ray beat her up and got her pregnant. For this, he went to prison. Raina went missing just 2 months after his sentence was over. For what Ray did, you would think Lori Reisen would have left him, but they were still married. He had a reason to hurt Raina and was dangerous because he had done bad things in the past. Police went to Ray and Lori's house. They told police neither of them saw Raina on the day she went missing. Ray said he was busy shooting pigeons that night on a friend's farm. When the officers called the friend, he confirmed that Ray was with him that night. Investigators felt like something was not right, so they went back to talk to Ray. Ray had a private talk with them and told them that he had seen Raina on the night she disappeared. He told them that on March 26, 1993, around 5:40 p.m., he was looking for a place to live. When he saw the animal hospital, he was looking out the window of a house. He said he had just quickly seen Rain in the animal hospital's parking lot and asked her if she knew where Lori was. He then went on, and that night he picked up a woman who was hitchhiking. Ray said the stranger was the reason he did not want to tell her he would see her at first. After what he did to her sister, she did not fully trust him. At this point, Ray McCarty was the main suspect, but there was no physical proof linking him to the crime. So the case went cold. The case went cold for almost 18 months, which was a shame. The Indiana State Police stopped Larry Hall's car at that time. Hall would go to events about the Civil War and the Independence War all over the Midwest. His van looked like one that was used to try to kidnap someone. When the cops looked through the van, they found a number of clues about Raina's case. He had newspaper articles about Raina and a prescription bottle with the word ricin on it in his van. Larry said that he was the one who took Raina and killed her. The police then got him. When detectives looked into what he did the night she went missing, they found that he was in Kentucky and that the prescription bottle was a fake. Hall had said that he had kidnapped and killed about 50 other women, which was not true. He seemed like the kind of guy who would get involved in any investigation and confess. In the end, Larry Hall was not a suspect in Raina's case. He was not totally innocent, though. He was found guilty of killing Jessica Roach, who was 15 years old. Raina's crime stayed unsolved until 1998. Investigators did not know what else to do, so they looked again at Matt Elser, Jason Tibbs, and Ray McCarty, who were their first suspects. Matt had a good alibi, so authorities never really thought he was a suspect. Jason's story about fox hunting did not seem to be true because no one saw him, but he seemed to get along well with Raina. Ray, on the other hand, first lied about his alibi, and he was definitely a bad person, so the police chose to look into him. They got a search warrant to look through Ray's house. The police found 2 weapons and a stun gun in his house. They also found blood in the trunk of his car, but they could not figure out where it came from. In May 1998, police nabbed Ray McCarty. He spent 15 months in jail while the cops kept building their case against him. While Ray was in jail, a new lawyer was brought in. He was a hunter, and he was able to figure out that the blood was from a deer. The lawyer thought that there was not enough proof that he did it, so they had to let him go again. He got out of jail after a year. The case would again be considered cold for the next 9 years. Then, in 2008, the cops found a clue that blew this case wide open. They got a letter from a prisoner who was serving a sentence of 44 years. Ricky Hammonds is his name. He wanted to talk with the police. Ricky was in jail because he killed the person who lived with him. Ricky said that he chose to come forward after thinking about his niece. He said that if something had happened to her, he would want someone to say something. He recounted that at the age of 14, in 1993, he used to smoke marijuana on the roof of a barn next to his parents' house. On one occasion, he heard the sound of an automobile entering the barn. From his vantage point, Ricky observed Jason Tibbs and Eric Feldman, his sister's boyfriend, opening the trunk of his sister's car. Under the blanket, he saw a body, and he could still make out the woman's head and shoulders. At that moment, Ricky was unaware that it was Raina. But a few days later, when Raina's face appeared in the news, he realized who it was. Ricky said that he was afraid to come forward in 1993 because he thought he would get in trouble for smoking weed. The cops found Eric Feldman in South Carolina. He was clearly nervous and did not want to talk to them, so he refused all interviews. Then, the investigators told him that he will not get in trouble if he tells them exactly what happened with Raina. He took the deal and told them all about it. Eric said that he and Jason were just driving around in his girlfriend Sudan on March 26, 1993, when they passed the animal hospital. Jason wanted Raina to break up with Matt and come back with him. He called her over to the car when she came out of the cat hospital. She made it clear that she did not want to talk to him. Before she could scream, he pushed her into the car and told Eric to drive away quickly. A few minutes later, Eric pulled over, and Raina tried to get out of the car. From what he remembered, Jason went to Raina and said something scary. He told her that if he couldn't be with her, no one else could. He then proceeded to apply pressure to her neck, resulting in her breathing being cut off until she succumbed. Jason and Eric subsequently took Raina's lifeless body and placed it inside the trunk of a vehicle, after which they drove to the barn, where Ricky witnessed the events. After a lot of thought, Eric and Jason decided to put Raina's body in the pond and put logs on top of it to make it sink. Jason needed to get Raina's car from the clinic, so Eric drove him back there. Jason left the car, and he also left Matt's jacket behind. Jason Tibbs, who was 38 at the time, was caught and charged with killing Raina Ricin in August 2013. Raina's life had ended 20 years before. His trial began at the end of 2013. His defense said that Ricky was not a reliable witness because he was only in high school at the time, and it took him 15 years to tell the truth. So that Eric Freeman's testimony at the trial was honest, he was given immunity from punishment. Jason Tibbs was found guilty after a long hearing that went on until December 2014. He got 40 years in jail, of which he had already served 20. Raina's family cried outside the courtroom and hugged each other and the judge. The Ricin family got some kind of justice, but the daughter they lost because of a crime of passion would never come back. Tibbs still says that Ray McCarty is to blame for what happened to Raina, and that he is not guilty. Tibbs went to the Indiana Supreme Court more than once. The Indiana Court of Appeals denied Jason Tibbs' request for a new trial on September 8, 2016, after the state's highest court said no. His lawyers said in public in 2018 that they are still trying to prove he is innocent. Raina was 16 and had her whole life in front of her. When she and Matt got back together, she was finally happy again. She seems to have been around bad people who let her down. Let us know your opinion about this case in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.